Hi there. Today we're talking about safety rule number 6, which is make well-chosen guitar warm-ups and exercises a routine way of developing a technique that is healthy for you. There's a couple things that are maybe hidden between the lines, okay? We're going to talk about my definition of warm-ups and exercises because those words can mean different things to different people. We want it to be a routine way. We want to do it often, every time we practice or almost every time we practice. And develop a technique that is healthy for you. You might find people that say, well, the proper way to play the guitar is to have your left hand thumb like right here. That actually, you don't want to have your thumb there all the time. That is an ideal way to play, especially for classical guitar and for some other things you might want to do. But there's always going to be these odd little shapes that, some of them might require you to lay your hand down. This is something I would normally say, you don't want this, but occasionally in order to reach something special, you have to change your technique a little bit. So, and for me myself, with the injury I had, I find that it's a good idea to let my thumb hang over the top. This is actually a very strong way to play things like G and C, and if I were more proper, I would be like this. But if I want longevity and don't want to hurt myself, I play the way I feel my hand is strongest. As much as possible. And then when I do need to play a different way with my thumb lower or something that takes more strength or more risk of injury, then I'll do that if I have to, but not all the time. So we have warm-ups and exercises, and let's just picture the beginning of our warm-up, beginning of our practice session. We do warm-ups for a little while, we do exercises for a little while, and then we do everything else, practicing our repertoire, learning new repertoire, polishing up our songs. Warm-ups are the easiest thing. Exercises can be everywhere in between warm-ups and the rest of your music. Exercises can be a little more challenging, where we're trying to develop something new. So as we plan our practice, something new goes here. If we have a piece of paper, we write what our exercises are going to be. But our warm-ups are something that we're already good at. That way we can focus on our technique and exactly what we're doing with our hands, okay? And as far as me instructing you about technique, that is going to happen in the guitar, I always get GSM mixed up with GME, guitar mastery exercises. That's where I will give instruction on technique. But let me just give you a couple examples of warm-up and exercises. For example, and we'll talk about 2 different styles, fingerpicking and strumming. So you could be working on both these styles at the same time or just one. But for example, if you're fingerpicking, a really good warm-up would be no left hand at all, just getting this nice straight. Again, the more instruction about technique will be in a different place, but this is a good shape of my hand, a good technique for playing fingerpicking, and you can just be doing something repetitive. For some people, this might be too difficult. Absolute beginning place might be just, right now I have thumb on 3rd string, and I have index on 2nd string, and I have, this maybe right there, you can see the strings a little better over there. I've skewed up my technique now, but you can see which strings. Here, let me move this. You might be able to see better like this. There, just those 3. Hand nice and straight. The thumb is pointing out that way. The fingers would close in, thumb comes around. Thumb moves like this. Something like that, or just, I just want to give you an idea of how easy your warm-ups can and should be. They should be easy enough so you can focus on things like how straight your wrist is and so on. Left hand for a warm-up, you might be playing something like this. Whoops. Sorry. When I'm looking at the camera, it's kind of backwards. Something where you can just look at, okay, do I need to move my thumb or not? Now, when I do this, that's not a reach. That is my whole thumb moves and everything. But you want, so the main idea, whatever you're doing for warm-up, you want it to be easy enough that you can really focus on the shape of your hand and figuring out what technique is best for you. And then an exercise might be something more like this, where you're learning something new. It might be a part of a song, and it's something you can do over and over and get used to making those changes and make mistakes, but it's a little, it takes more of your brain. And you can still try to keep your good technique, but when you're really changing technique, that would be something you want to do in your warm-ups. And then in your exercises, you just try to maintain good technique. But then as you go down to your music and you're playing your repertoire and you're just enjoying learning a new song or playing a new song, you don't have to burden yourself with what's that word? Forbidding yourself. You don't have to forbid yourself to do things the old way or the wrong way, or catch yourself doing your technique wrong. Don't worry about it anymore. You focus on, if you spend 5 or 10 minutes focusing on that, it will become a habit and it will become part of your playing of music. Then if you were strumming, instead of trying to get a whole chord perfectly and getting frustrated by it because of a buzz or a muted note or something, make it easier. Take your nice straight wrist and lay it under the guitar, and maybe just use this part of the chord instead of the whole C chord. Maybe just let this finger relax and just play the lower strings. Right now I'm doing a similar oh wait, this was supposed to be strumming. I'm just strumming 3 strings, the 5th string, the 4th string, and the 3rd string. And then you could take that same shape and move it down here, and you would have part of a G chord. Now I have, it's the same shape as a C chord, only this finger has gone to the 3rd fret 6th string, and this finger has gone to the 2nd fret 5th string. And I'm just playing the lowest 3 or 4 strings. Of course, when I'm doing the C chord, I have to miss the 6th string, or I can mute it. This is like extra information. The main idea is that I've simplified playing these chords, and I've made it easy enough. Now I can look at my hand and say, okay, so this is my technique, thumb hanging over. This is strong and I like it. But if you want to, you can practice it with your thumb back here. And we'll go over that more in the guitar mastery exercises. And we're focusing on technique. We're focusing on this being nice and straight, not out like that. Okay. And if your thumb is up, by the way, this bears repetition, so I'll say it now. You don't want it up and stiff. You want it relaxed like that. And then say if that was your warm-up and you've made it easy for you, then maybe in exercises you try to do all 3. And maybe this one is, maybe the 1st string is muted. That is a tough one sometimes. Make sure this fingernail's cut short. That's one thing that'll mess you up. So you could focus on maybe during exercises getting that 1st string to ring. Or if you're a finger picker, this is the great thing about finger picking. if I'm playing a C chord and I'm just playing string 5, 4, 3, I don't need this one. And then if I want to play the higher strings, I could let go of this one if I just want to move up there. And you could play around with those notes. So that's the idea of warm-ups and exercises, making it easy enough so that you can really focus on exactly what your hands are doing, learning how to do it with the strongest way possible, the most efficient way possible, and then for more specifics on technique, if you're watching the guitar mastery exercises, you'll get several pointers on that. Possibilities are endless for warm-ups and exercises. Don't feel like they have to come out of a book. Lifting them out of a book, I don't really care for that, because usually the kind of exercises, if you buy a book, actually I should make a book of exercises. But anyway, a lot of them are just teaching you ornaments and decorations and stuff, and that's fine too, to learn those things, but what we're talking about now is developing our technique. And you can do ornament exercises too if you want, but it's really good to be able to design your own warm-ups and exercises. Let's see, did I say it in there? Make well-chosen guitar warm-up. There's another thing hidden between the lines. Well-chosen guitar warm-ups and exercises, not just random stuff that's specific to the music that you're playing. So let's talk about it in a different order. First we talked about warm-ups, exercises, and music. Now let's talk about the music. There's that spot in your song that is challenging. So take however small of a piece you need, a measure or two, just a few, that spot that's difficult. Put that, break that down into little pieces, and until it's easy, like 2 notes, 3 notes. Put that in warm-ups and look at what fingers you're choosing, look at your technique, do it slow enough so that it's easy. And then when it gets a little bit easier, put it in exercises and play. Don't just play 2 measures, you might want to play into the next little piece, so that the little piece you've lift it out of your music and put into exercises. You want it to tie in with what you're practicing. So really my point is you want your warm-ups and exercises, you want to learn how to design them so that you're working on the exact things that you need to be working on. And whenever you have a tough spot in your song, put that in exercises, or maybe even back into warm-ups if you need to. Now I'm just making sure I haven't forgotten anything. The guitar mastery exercises are great. The ones so far that I've recorded are very simple, but they do get a lot more complex. We get into real songs and melodies and more complex things. If you have had some experience and you want something a little more sophisticated, Tony Policastro has a lot of fun warm-ups and exercises, but they are beyond beginner, definitely, for sure. Okay, so that's it for today, and I will see you next time when we talk about safety rule number 7. Please like and subscribe, and you can sign up for my email list if you go to the website in the description underneath this video. I'll see you then. Bye.